Hello everybody, thank you so much for being here and for existing with me today and for coming back to another video of Yap and Doodle with me. Today I'm back with my daughter's chalk and we're gonna create a little creation and I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I've been up to for the last week or two and all things that I have read about, thought about, wrote about. I don't know. Basically, this is like a FaceTime video where I update you guys on my life. So that's what I'm doing. So let's get into it. Also, I just wanted to say thank you so much for 63 of you guys. Holy cow. I can't believe I'm talking to 63 people. I always just imagine it of like 63 people sitting in a room. And like that is crazy to me. The idea of having that many people interested in just learning about me and who I am and wanting to just listen to me yap about the randomness that goes on. Like, I am forever grateful. It's super sweet. I want to like have like a group call or something where we all do this. Should we? Should we? That would be so fun. That would be so fun. Anyway, let me get into it. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes, and you guys already know. I'm going to try my best to adhere to it. It might talk a little longer than 10 minutes. We'll have to wait and see. This last 2 weeks really, bit of a blur because Yara's going through a little growth spurt and teething again, so sleeping has been very limited. But have been tapping into reading books and listening to audiobooks again. Obviously, as you know, I've been reading Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural book, which has been transformational. I also recently read The 4 Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. Phenomenal. Right now I'm on a new one, and it is The 3 Questions. It's by the same author. How to Discover and Master the Power Within You. Really cool. I actually freaking love books so much. They are just the best thing ever. It's just so fun to sit and listen to an audiobook or read a book and expand your knowledge. I really, really, really freaking love it. I am having the time of my life right now listening to these. But yeah, I think one of the things that I learned about was the concept of Ouroboros, which is, I'll put an image here, the snake eating its own tail. And it made me realize how much that stands true. Because I heard this thing that said, basically transformation is painful and everyone needs to die to survive. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, wait, what? Yes. Because if you think about it, what begins with pain in childbirth ends with the birth of a new human being. Like, that process is painful, that process is intense. And so I think that bleeds into your regular life too, when you're like going through what feels like the thick of it, like the worst of it. 9 times out of 10, people come out, if they do manage to come out on the other side, which I think we all have the power to do as someone who's really been in the deep depths of suicidal ideation, cutting myself and all that. Like, to rediscover yourself when you are at your absolute lowest, there's something magical about that, because you have to hit rock bottom. You need to get so comfortable with being nobody to finally figure out who you are. Like, you have to detach from every single thing that you believe that you are to find who you are and to get comfortable with that. And honestly, motherhood really gifted me of that. I know we talk about kind of the dark parts and like the loss of sense of self that often comes with motherhood, but One of the things that I think is not talked about enough is how many mothers rediscover themselves. I find so many moms won't really be doing a lot of their passion work, become moms, and all of a sudden kickstart their businesses, kickstart this, because I think there's something so wonderful that happens in motherhood, and it is the letting go of giving up. And more importantly, rediscovering like your core soul purpose. And I attribute it to when you are postpartum and when you are in a diaper, staring in the mirror with your engorged breasts, with your flabby tummy that is still protruding, with none of your clothes fitting, with your hair falling out in clumps, with your tired, sunken eyes, the lack of sleep, the lack of nutrients that are even just entering your body. You have to, and it forces you to look at yourself and go, I need to find beauty in myself even while looking this way. And accepting the fact that you looking that way is you actually in your most beautiful form. And that is because it is your raw, wild self. It is so freaking magical. You just birthed a human being. Your body is literally a representation of the fact that you just gave birth to something that you grew in your womb. Do you acknowledge that? Can you acknowledge that? That is absolutely insane. You built a human body, a brain, a heart. You did that. And your body was your child's first ever home. Your body was a vessel of life, carrying, protecting it. And now those engorged breasts that you hate so much are feeding that very soul and giving it life. And those cuddles that you are constantly giving to your child is teaching your child to love, is giving your child the ability to understand empathy, appreciation. And there is something so magical about that when you look at yourself and go, you know what? I am me without the makeup. I am me without the clothes because none of the clothes fit right now. I am me without all the hairstyles that I used to be able to do because all of my hair's fallen out. It forces women to really look at themselves and find beauty in the parts of themselves that they never, ever allowed themselves to find beauty in before. Because before it was so easy to mask it up. Now we had to lift that veil and we're forced to look at ourselves and go, wow. And more importantly, we're forced to do that because we have a whole kid. And we don't want our kid to look at us, looking at us, picking at ourselves. And we're so in love with our child's very features, the very features that were born from love. And we learn to love ourselves. And our brain, more importantly, actually, you know how we oftentimes are like, postpartum brain, can't think of this, can't think of this, can't think of this. Our brain matter shifts entirely. The capacity for remembering certain parts, our ability to retain information shrinks. And the parts of our brain that are used and acknowledged for empathy and love grow. We end up using more parts of our brain, in the first 5 years postpartum. And what's so wonderful about that is we're literally learning how to become more empathetic. And I think we're learning how to become more empathetic towards other people, obviously our child, but it gives us this beautiful gift of becoming more empathetic towards ourselves. Leaning into that and really acknowledging the fact that, okay, yes, I don't feel like myself, but there's something so beautiful about that because I get to relearn myself. I finally get to learn who I am without all the things that I previously attributed myself to. Who am I without all of these masks, without all of these things that I needed to be? And you know what came out at the other end of it? My inner child finally was born, especially through toddlerhood. Moms are always like, oh, the terrible twos. I miss like my postpartum days. I can't wait to hit toddler. Toddlerhood is like so intense. I don't know. I freaking love toddlerhood. Toddlerhood is my favorite stage of motherhood so far, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to say that about each stage that happens. But what's so beautiful about toddlerhood is they are gifting you the ability to be present, to really live in the Wu Wei, as they describe in Chinese Taoism, which is the gift of non-doing. You get to be so present and unfocused on trying to build all these tasks and totally just create. Which, for me, my inner child loves to create, and it's something that I let go of for so many years of my life. And so finally having the capacity to sit here and do art with my daughter all day long and create and be curious about the sky, be curious about dirt, be curious about the raindrops that fall on the windowsill, to rediscover the curiosity that comes with just living, to just being present, is so beautiful, and I'm so immensely grateful. Timer. I'm so immensely grateful to be in this experience and to have this opportunity to just be present and to rediscover who I am. And it was so wonderful because I was at an event and at a work event, and my manager had asked me, you know, we were going around and like, what are we at our base? And I told them that at my base I am curiosity. And I'm that at my base because at my base I am me before I was told to be anyone else. And at the base of myself, the base of who I am as an individual, there lies curiosity and an interest in discovering and understanding life, the world, the nature, the leaf, whatever it may be. And I was so afraid of that part of myself, that natural curiosity. I didn't really care to tap into it for so many years of my life because I didn't know that, or I didn't think that that was cool. But now having a daughter and having a child that thinks she's so cool, which she freaking is, but I'm saying like, who just authentically and without a doubt accepts those elements of herself and does what she wants because she can, reminded me that I can do those things that I can. And so at the base of me, really tapping into that inner child, that curiosity, has been what I want to continue doing and what I've enjoyed continue doing. I think really, I say all that to say that this journey, while tiring and exhausting, has given me the opportunity to really discover parts of myself that I had forgotten that even existed. The curiosity has come back, and it's made my love for life come back, because I get to wake up and be curious about what's going to happen today instead of having to be curious about what's going to happen 5 years from now and being curious about what happened 5 years ago, because none of that matters right now. Right now, I'm playing with my daughter, and she doesn't really care about what happened 5 years ago. She cares about the rock that is currently rolling down the street. And that is so cool. And I really have, like, it's fun. It's fun to put on an outfit and think, do you think my daughter would look at me and go, this is a really fun outfit? You know what I mean? Like, tapping into that, tapping into the colors and becoming fun instead of stylish. Like, there's just so many different parts that have been reborn with me. And I really, really love that. I got to rediscover myself postpartum because I had to. I had to finally accept that there are parts of me without everything else. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's my 2 cents. I did draw an octopus. So here we go. Are we ready? Oh. That's my octopus. What you wanna do, baby? It's just innocent. Tell me when I'm moving, clear the way I do that shit and twist your hips. Yeah, I know I got it, though I'm innocent. Girl, the other night we ran outside, I run that shit.